Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Wow, there's lots of us here. How you're doing? Right then, welcome to today's session. So today's session for National Work Experience Week is run by Speedy Services. My name is Heather Reynolds from Career Map, and I'll be your host this afternoon. Today, I'm joined by Jill Roberts from Speedy. Hello, Jill.
Hi, everyone. Gosh, there's a lot of people here.
I know, yeah. So Jill is Speedy's early careers manager, and she'll be talking you through Speedy's work experience opportunities, their upcoming virtual work experience programs, as well as telling you a bit about the early careers that are at the organisation as well. So any questions that you've got, if you've not located the chat box already, it's on the right-hand side. Pop any questions that you've got in there, and we'll do a Q&A to Jill at the end of the session. And just a reminder that the session is being recorded. It will be sent to you, so don't worry about missing anything. You'll have it in your inbox next week or so. But I think that's my cue to disappear and hand over to Jill, and I'll see you for the Q&A.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to be able to be here today and present to you Speedy, who we are, what we do, and some of our opportunities in terms of work experience and careers. So it's really great. So thank you all for being here. I am just going to turn my camera off as I run through the slides, but I will pop it back on for the Q&A at the end. So first of all, again, hello from me. This is me. So yeah, I'm the early careers manager. And if you're not too sure what that is, so basically within Speedy, I look after all our work experience. I look after our apprentices and our graduates. I do all the recruitment, the assessment to bring them in for various roles. And then it's also my job to make sure that these fantastic young people we have coming into our business have great development. They go on a fantastic career journey, and they can really establish themselves within the company. I also help with I also run our outreach. So this is linking up with schools, going to careers fairs, linking up with companies like Career Map, just to tell young people about who we are and what we can offer as a career. And then I sort of have responsibility for our early career strategy. So making sure as a business, we're offering the best programs to the young people who join us. So that's basically a little bit about what I do. So Speedy. So we are probably a company that I'd say the vast majority of you have probably never heard of. And this is a couple of things. Number one, we sit in an industry called the hire industry. So basically what you do is we are a company and we hire out tools and equipment to other businesses, people, builders, DIYers, big infrastructure companies, you name it. We hire out equipment to them so that they can do their projects. And basically, we've only, ever since we were started in the 1970s, we've worked sort of what we call business to business. So we work with other businesses. So, we don't really do a lot of TV adverts or radio adverts and, work with sort of individual customers, but that is all changing, and I'll go on to that in a minute. So basically we do lots of hire of various tools and equipment. You can see all the different categories we've got there. So basic tools from drills and cement mixers. We do lifting equipment, power, so big generators. We have rail equipment to help build the railways, powered access, that's like scissor lifts. And because a lot of places now, you're not actually allowed to use ladders on big building sites. So you have to use powered access equipment. We do survey equipment. So sometimes you might see these people standing on the side of the road with what looks like a speed camera, but it's not survey equipment. They're mapping out, ready to build a new road or set of houses. We offer training for various businesses because our industry is quite a dangerous one. So lots of training to make sure everybody stays safe. We actually deliver fuel. Not a lot of people know that. We have our own fuel side of the business. We have our own tankers and deliver fuel to lots of sites. And we also test and repair and inspect lots of specialist equipment because we have another business associated with us as Speedy called Lloyd's British. And for a fascinating fact, Lloyd's British actually tested the anchors on the Titanic. So, really, really long-standing company, and they're part of the Speedy family. So, like I just said, You probably won't have heard of us. Now you have. You'll see our vans everywhere. You'll see our equipment all along the side of the roads, on building sites, and places like that. So we have as well started branching out and working with DIYers and smaller companies. So we've actually gone into partnership with B&Q. So we have lots of little Speedy stands now within B&Q stores, and we offer tool hire to everybody now. So we've really branched out from being just offering services to other businesses to offering out to DIYers. So if you yourselves, if you're of the appropriate age, or your parents or members of your family want to do a garden project or some sort of DIY within the house, you can actually go into a B&Q now and hire our products, which is great. And we are loving working with these sort of customers, the DIY customers, and it's really, really exciting for us and really new to us. So it's growing really, really quickly. And as of yesterday, we have started doing TV adverts. So you might have seen our adverts. I think they went out yesterday on Channel 4, ITV, Channel 5, Dave's, channels like that. So that's really exciting for us. So we probably will become a lot better known to normal consumers, not just other businesses. A couple of other things about us. We are very, very passionate about the environment and what we call ESG in the industry, environment, social governance. We all know that the pressures that we're facing in this world in terms of, the carbon footprint and global warming and all of those issues. And we're really sort of leading the way within our industry and taking a stand against that. So, making sure that our fleet is starting to go electric. So our company cars, our trucks, and, we, in terms of our company cars, we use hybrids now, but we're getting electric trucks. You can see there a big group of people on the slide. We've just opened our first innovation centre, our Green Innovation Centre in Milton Keynes. So, and this is our sort of model for what we want to do with our depots going forward. So it's really exciting for us. So yeah, we're really leading the way in that. And then you can see some other pictures. We get involved with a lot of charities as well as a company. So there's 3 of our charities on the right-hand side: Well Child, the Lighthouse Club, and the British Heart Foundation. So we do lots of fundraising for them, and they come in and help us with some of our things that we want to do. So, for instance, we've got a really good partnership with the British Heart Foundation, and we've just put defibrillators in all of our depots. Really, really important. And then we also get involved with lots of other charitable works. You can see in the top right-hand corner. We quite often work with things like DIY SOS and other projects to supply equipment to do various projects. I think this one was a garden makeover for a disabled child, so the garden was accessible, and we're really passionate about how we give back as a company as well. So yeah, lots and lots going on, and a great company to come and work for. And you can have an absolutely fantastic career within our industry, within the hire industry. But again, not that many people know about the hire industry. I'll admit, when I came to Speedy 5 years ago, I didn't know about the hire industry. So there really is a lot of career paths that you can take. And it's a great place to work, and it's a growing industry, and it's really fast paced. So if you really like that sort of stuff, then it's a great place to be. So in terms of early careers at Speedy, so you can see on this slide, this is some of our lovely early careers people that we have. So we have our graduates and we have some of our apprentices. And, for us young people, you guys that are on this webinar today, you are absolutely vital to our future as a company. I'll be really honest, probably, the makeup of our workforce, we've got an excellent group of people who work with us here at Speedy. We probably do have a slightly aging workforce just because of the nature of the industry that we're in. And so it's really our priority to bring in lots of young people into the business to learn from our really experienced colleagues that we have already in the business, and to learn those skills. And you are the future of our business, so early careers are completely vital to our future, our strategy. Bringing in more and more young people just increases the diversity of the type of people that we have here at Speedy. We've got a massive push on diversity and inclusion at the moment. We've always done it, but we want to do it even more. We want to do it even better, and bring in just a greater range of people on a greater range of courses and entry points into the business. So there's lots of ways you can develop a career with us at Speedy, and having lots of different entry points is really important. Not everybody who comes to Speedy wants to be an engineer. You don't have to come to Speedy to be an engineer. There are so many different careers you can have, and hopefully we'll be able to show you some of those today, things that you didn't know you could come and do at Speedy. You know, like I said, the hire industry is a great place to work. There's lots of hire companies within our industry. We're not the only one, you know, so even going to work with one of those other companies, you know, you get a great experience and a great way into a fantastic industry. And when we bring in young people into our business, as well as us teaching you, you know, the skills of whatever role you want to come in and learn, we really love that our young people challenge us as a business, and we want you to challenge us. You know, you guys, Gen Z, you have so many skills, particularly digital skills and ways of working that we need to learn as we move forward and we become, you know, a business for the future. And it's great to have that experience of you young people coming into our business, and we love it, and we love being challenged. You guys, you know, you tell us new ways of working, new ways to do things, and we're like, yeah, let's do it differently, because sometimes we do things the same way because that's how we've always done it. But we love hearing ideas of our young people, so it's really, really important to us that. So there's lots of ways that you can either come and experience Speedy, or you can come and work for Speedy, and they're below there. So we offer work experience, which I'll talk about shortly. We are going to be offering, we don't at the moment, but we are going to be offering internships, so short, sort of maybe 4-week placements in various parts of the business. Again, hopefully from September, we'll be offering year in industry placements, and that's for people who are doing a degree and need to do a year in industry between their 2nd and 3rd year, or their 3rd and their 4th year. We already bring in lots of apprentices. We bring in graduates, so that's when you've done a degree at university and you come into the business. And we're also hopefully from September going to be offering degree apprenticeships as well, which is an excellent option to develop a great career. And for me, personally, I love having lots of different entry points. For me, it doesn't sit right that we would only bring in graduates who have studied at, you know, a Russell Group university and only got grade A's. That doesn't make sense to me. We want to have a huge range of people coming into this business. So therefore, we need to offer lots of different entry points and lots of different opportunities to experience our business. Okay. So in terms of work experience, there are a couple of types of work experience that you can do with us. So the first one is a physical work experience. So that means you actually physically come to one of our sites. So there's a couple of variations that we offer. So you can come and experience life in one of our depots or our workshops. So you could, you know, get some experience of what it's like to be an engineer with Speedy, what it's like to work in the depot on sort of the front line, how our equipment moves in and out, what type of customers we deal with, life as, you know, like a driver, and how our equipment is sent around our network. You could come and work in our sort of depot office to sort of experience that front of house, the hiring process, you know, our IT systems, customer care, the administration that goes behind it all. Because although me saying we hire out drills or cement mixers, it sounds quite simple. You know, there is always a process to follow, and we've got really great IT systems. And, you know, how do we get that equipment to the customer? What happens if it breaks down? What happens when it comes back? You know, and looking after our customers, because they're incredibly important to us. So you can do sort of that practical element in the workshop, in our depots. You can do that sort of office environment in our depots as well. And then also we have quite a lot of people who come for work experience at our head office. So actually our head office is based up north in sort of between Liverpool and Manchester, in a place called Haydock. And that's where most of our core business functions are. So we've got finance, marketing, HR, learning and development. We've got the legal team. We have our partnered services and our hire direct functions that sit there as well. We've got our transport team, our supply chain team, and you can get work experience with any of these functions. And we have lots of people who come to head office and sort of experience that that function as well. And it's really easy. We don't have sort of a form to fill in and, you know, a set format that you have to fill in. You don't have to have, you know, certain grades and things like that. But what we do ask is that you take some time and just write us a personal email. So the address is on the screen, early.careers@speedyservices.com, just sort of talking about what are the things you'd like to experience, what are you looking for, where are you based, why do you want to experience this type of career? And for us just to see, you know, what you're after, what your vision is for the future, and that you've sort of put a little bit of thought behind why you want to come in and spend some time with us as a business. That's really, really important for us. And then we can tailor the work experience to you and what you want to do and make it the best experience for you. I'm very much, you know, I look after all these work experience placements, and, you know, I really like to tailor what we offer you to what you want so that it is the best experience, because I know that quite a lot of you only probably get a week when you get a week out of school to do this. So we want to pack as much in there as we possibly can.
Jill, it's just Heather here, just for reference, to let everybody know that I've put the application email address in the sticky note at the top of the chat, as well as within the chat, the chat. So if anybody needs it, you can just pull it from there.
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that.
No worries.
And then we're also going to be doing something slightly new. So this isn't live yet, but we're about to start building it. We're actually going to start offering a virtual work experience program as well. Physical work experience is great. It's absolutely brilliant, but obviously there are only a limited number of placements that we can do. Sometimes, you know, because of our industry, you know, there's a lot of health and safety rules to follow and, you know, and things like that. And sometimes, depending on what you're doing, you know, it can be a lot more observational and practical and things like that. But we want to get Speedy out there to as many young people as we possibly can. And, you know, physical placements are fabulous, but like I say, we can be quite limited sometimes. So we're working in conjunction with a company called SpringPod. And if you've never heard of SpringPod, you can see the little homepage there. They're a fantastic company who showcase, you know, apprenticeships, what it's like going to university, and also offer virtual work experience with tons of different companies. Big companies that you will hear of in day to day, and smaller companies like ourselves who you may not have heard of. And it's a great opportunity for you to sign up and take part in a program, you know, using your computer and just really getting involved and attending like webinars like this, completing work tasks and things like that. And, you know, particularly if you don't know what you want to do, this site is brilliant for you to go and explore. And there's lots of things you can sign up for. So you can do more than one experience if you wanted. Whereas physical work experiences, you're probably very restricted to just doing one because you're only released from school for like a week. So you can see here, I've just taken a snapshot from SpringPod's website there. So you could see there are, this was just 3 that I could fit on my screen. So you can see you've got an engineering work experience, you've got a work experience program with Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital, and you've got one there with South Tyneside Council. Engineering, admin, clerical. There are so many on this website. Honestly, I can't stress enough how great this website is. If you just type SpringPod into Google, it'll come up and you can go and explore it. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to design a virtual work experience program. It's going to take about 8 hours to complete. There are going to be around 300 places available for young people up and down the country. And this is another thing why a virtual work experience is so good. We can reach so many more people than we can with physical. There's no way we could offer 300 physical work experience places. So we get to show you guys what Speedy is like. And yeah, it's not as great as obviously being in a depot or in the office, but you're still going to get a great experience and really get to grips with who we are, what we stand for, our culture, our values, and what it's like to work for us. And we're going to have 8 modules. And we're going to have some of them looking at very specific Speedy departments. So you get to experience life at Speedy. And we're going to have some modules that are sort of general skills that you need for a successful career, which I'm really passionate about. You know, everybody needs great soft skills like how to talk to people and how to communicate, because You know, they're really, really important. There's also going to be tasks. So you're going to be able to complete little work tasks and upload them and send them to us. We're going to have some live webinars with lots of Speedy people. So you get to meet some of our big bosses, right down to some of our depot managers, or, you know, some of our head office team. So lots of people you'll get to speak to. At the end of the program, we'll also have links to any of our apprenticeship vacancies. So if you've done our virtual work experience and you've gone, I really want to work for Speedy, you know, there'll be links to some apprenticeship vacancies there. And when the program is live, you can apply through the SpringPod website. And for any program, virtual work experience program with SpringPod, you do the application through them. And we're really, really excited about this because I just love the fact that we can reach so many more young people and give them those opportunities. One thing I will say is when you're considering applying for a job or a career or whatever you're thinking of doing, when you go through that process, really make sure that the company you're applying with, you know, as well as them looking at you to make sure you're suitable for them, really you guys need to be looking at the company to make sure that they're good for you. We always encourage our apprentices and graduates to come in and experience some time with us whilst they're applying for the jobs. They have a little session with us as part of the recruitment process, because they've got to be right for us, but we've got to be right for them. I'll be honest, you know, Speedy isn't for everybody, just like any other company, you know, I might not like another company, whereas somebody else loves it. So really, really, when you're applying for roles and whatever job it is, whether it's a little part-time job while you're at sixth form or, you know, your first major job, really make sure that the people you're working with, that they fit with what you believe and what you think and your values and what you want to experience, as well as you being right for them. And this work experience, you know, will immerse you in the world of Speedy. And you could say, actually, yeah, this is a great company. I really want to apply for a job. Or actually, you might go, that was a good experience, but actually, you know, Speedy isn't right for me. And that's okay as well. That really is. So if you come and do work experience with us, either physically or through the virtual program, that's great. You then might think, yeah, I really would love to come work for Speedy. So I'm just going to show you some of our career options. So first of all, you could come and be an apprentice with us. And you can start as an apprentice from 16. There are a couple of apprenticeships where you have to be 18, but that's just from a health and safety point of view. And basically most of our apprenticeships at the moment, we offer level 2 and level 3 apprenticeships. When we start offering degree apprenticeships, they're obviously at level 6. And basically, you know, there are loads of different ways you can and careers you can have at Speedy, and I've listed them there. So general engineer, powered access engineer, a lifting engineer, a rail engineer, a hire controller. So that's looking after our customers day to day, doing the on hires and the off hires, receiving the contracts, putting them on the system, sorting out all the payments, getting the equipment sent from the depots to the customer location and things like that. So that's really at the forefront of everything we do. Depot manager, we have a depot manager apprenticeship program now, so that takes 4 years. And you start as an apprentice, and at the end of your apprenticeship, you will be ready to manage your own depot. And that is a really exciting program that we've just launched last year. And our first depot manager apprentice is an absolute superstar, and she's got a really bright future. And she's absolutely loving the apprenticeship. We offer business admin apprenticeships. And then we've got 3 new categories at the bottom. We're actually going to be offering driver apprenticeships, hopefully from September. So you come in, obviously you will need to, at this point, already have a driving license. But, you know, we will teach you and you'll do qualifications on how to drive an HGV. You'll get your category C and category E license. And it's very exciting to me that to bring in driving apprentices. We have such a shortage of drivers sometimes. It's a very in-demand job, and we're very, very keen as a business to grow our own drivers. And it's a great job. We're also going to have some finance apprenticeships. So things like credit controllers, assistant accountants, payroll. So we've done finance graduate roles before, so after you've studied your degree, but there's some excellent routes into finance apprenticeships, and then there's some excellent pathways. So you can start as an assistant accountant, and over the course of 3 or 4 years, you'll end up a fully qualified accountant. And then sales. So sales is very, very exciting. I can't think of anything better than having young, excited, driven, hungry young people learning how to do our sales. And this isn't like cold calling and things like that from a telephone. This is going out and about with our business development managers to our sites and our customers and really talking to them and about our Speedy products, finding solutions for them. What can we supply you to help you get your jobs done? And it's a great, great job if you want to go and if you're great at talking to people and you're dead enthusiastic and you're really outgoing and, you just are really exuberant and to learn, to come in as sort of a sales apprentice will be absolutely fantastic. And I'm really, really excited about this apprenticeship. So, Heather, would you play the video of Charlie, please?
Yeah, sure. I'll just do it now for you.
So I'm just going to show you a video of one of our Powered Access apprentices.
Jill, just checking. It's definitely the Charlie one now, yeah?
Yeah, Charlie, please.
Okay, brilliant. If we just both turn our mics off, then I'll put it on now.
I'm Charlie, I'm 18 and I'm an apprentice powered access engineer working for Speedy Powered Access. I'd say the depot environment, it's a really clean place, it's brand new, it's a really good place to work in. With the old depot it's a little bit crammed, with this new depot it's way more spacious, there's vibrant colours everywhere and it's very sustainable as well. And I feel like this is the move of a progressive company like Speedy, wanting to invest in its employees and to be making a great working space environment for us, and that's what they're doing. It feels good. It's a really good environment. Work every day is good. You learn a lot as an apprentice, and it's something that I look forward to be doing in the future, learning on the job. To describe Speedy Powered Access in 3 words, I'd say they're a very transparent company. They listen to what their employees have to say. They're also a very flexible company and they're very progressive in the way that they move forward.
Jill, the presentation's back on now if you want to pop your mic on.
Thanks, Heather. Did that play okay?
Perfect.
All right. So I couldn't hear it, so I didn't know if it was playing or not. So perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So so hopefully you've heard from Charlie there, and he's one of our apprentice powered access engineers at Milton Keynes. So basically, to be an apprentice with us, we have quite a specific process, but a process that really works. So what we do, you apply for a role via our website when our roles are live, and then if we want to take your application further, we do 3 things with you, and we do this all in one go. We do this. We don't bring you back 3 times, so you'll be asked to come to wherever you've applied for the role. You do a tour around wherever you've applied for, and you get to talk to the people who you would be potentially working with, interact with them, ask them questions, get a feel for what it's like in that environment. And that's really important for us so that you can sort of test whether we're right for you, and you get to speak to people and, really delve into what it's like at Speedy. We do a short interview with you, just to sort of talk about your experiences, why you want to work for Speedy, what do you see your career potentially being, and why you've applied for the job. And then we do a nice practical task with you, just to look at your aptitude So if you were applying to be an apprentice hire controller, we'd give you a customer service task. If you're applying to be an engineer, we'd ask you to do a small practical task, just to have a look at your aptitude. You don't necessarily have to get the right answer, but we just want to look at your ideas, your approach, how you get stuck into it, and things like that. So a nice simple process, and that's done just over the space of a couple of hours. And then in terms of if you are successful and you get a role with us, we have a really supportive and developmental program. So you get your own line manager, you have a mentor, we pay for your qualifications. Some qualifications are done virtually with our providers. Some qualifications are done on site where the providers come to our sites. Some qualifications, our apprentices go off to college for a week at a time somewhere else in the country, and if that's the case, we pay for your travel, your accommodation, and give you an allowance towards food. You also get time to study, so 20% of your working hours are given up to study, so you get time within the working day to study and build your portfolios and do your tasks and your assignments that you need for your apprenticeship. You have an apprentice program manager, which is me. So as well as having a line manager, and a mentor, you've got me as well. So I sort of recruit and onboard you and then look after you and see how your progress is going. And, if you're struggling, we put plans in place to get you back to where you should be. If you're excelling, we put plans in place to excel you even more. If you've got some problems going on outside of work, we'll support you with them. So we look after you sort of pastorally as well. We care about you inside work and we care about you outside of work, and we support you as a whole. And then, we keep an eye on your progress and how you're doing with the provider who does your qualification and how you're doing with us at Speedy. So it's a really supportive developmental program. And we've got a really successful program here at Speedy, and I've had lots of fantastic apprentices move on and up through the company. And then another option, so if you think, actually, when I finish sixth form, I want to go and do a degree, that's absolutely fine. And you can come to Speedy after you've done your degree and you can be a graduate. And we do two types of graduate. We've got rotational graduates who spend 3 years as a graduate and they do six-month placements around the business. And then we also have what we call specialist graduates, and they come in and they start a job like a marketing graduate or a sales graduate or a finance graduate, and they do that job day in, day out. But you can see this red circle, whichever, if you're a rotational or a specialist graduate, you get a graduate development program as well. So you get the training, you get additional qualifications, learning and development, you get to do exec board project, you get a formal induction week and specialist graduate training. You guys can read that. You get your own mentor. And again, it's a really, really supportive and developmental program. Line manager, myself as the program manager, keeping an eye on your progress like the apprentices, and looking after you and developing you and making sure that your career grows with us. Heather, are you okay to play the graduate video, please?
Yeah, sure. Pop it on now.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Sharp. I'm HR and Communications graduate at Speedy. I'm spending my first 6 months in marketing, working on exciting events and other projects as well.
Hi, I'm Sam Cowell and I'm the Graduate Account Manager. So far in my role, I've been visiting customers, going on expos to see the likes of the expo, see our strategic partners display their kit.
Hi, I'm Sam and I'm a Fuel graduate here at Speedy, and I'm here to tell you that it's great to be a graduate here due to the great support network that you have to ensure that you are successful on your journey.
Hi, did you know you have to clean coal before you can make good steel out of it? No, neither did I. This has been something that I've learned while on Speedy's graduate programme. My name's Francesca and I'm one of the 6 grads that Speedy took on. My programme specialism has been in account management, and I thought I'd show you where I am today just to get a bit of a feel for some of the things you can get involved in at Speedy. It's been really great so far. I'm on week 6, and as I say, something I never would have dreamt of learning about is the process of how steel is made, and I've been sent to Tata Steelworks down in Port Talbot, so I've learned all about it.
I'm Luke, I'm a commercial graduate. I'm 6 months into my Speedy journey and I haven't looked back once. I've developed so much in my own role and I've quickly been given a lot of responsibility. but I'm particularly impressed with the guidance and support received from my graduate mentor. Every day in the commercial team is fast-paced and really keeps me on my toes. I'm advising on customer agreements and pricing to ensure we retain and grow the business, but also to ensure we aren't selling ourselves short, as our service is exemplary. There are so many opportunities here at Speedy, and I really can't wait to see where I end up.
Hi, I'm Luke, commercial graduate for the North of Speedy, and I love working at Speedy because of the people who support me by giving me a clear pathway to succeed at the company, by delivering the placement opportunities, the training opportunities, and all the experiences I've had so far to help me succeed at this company.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a HR graduate at Speedy, currently working within the retail side of the business and helping out with the rollout of the Speedy stores within the B&Q.
Okay, Jill, presentation's on now.
Thank you. And then just lastly, just to finish off, you know, like I've already said, you know, hopefully in this year, as well as everything we already do, we're going to be adding degree apprenticeships, summer internships, and year in industry placements, which I hope just shows, you know, how keen and how serious we are about young people being the future of our company. You know, it is a really important part of our strategy now, early careers, and it's, you know, mentioned in, you know, right from our big bosses right down, and I'm doing a lot of work across the company to really push that we bring in as many young people as we can. And, you know, our industry is so unknown, but, you know, please research, have a look, get in touch with me, ask me any questions you want. You can have an absolutely fantastic career in the hire industry. It's very fast paced, it's very exciting, it's always changing and always developing. So, you know, you'll never ever be bored. There's always something to do. And yeah, like I say, probably something you've never experienced before, but absolutely a great place to be. So yeah, that's sort of is all I wanted to say, if that's okay. And yeah, it'd be great to take any questions that have come through.
Well, I don't know whether you've seen, Jill, but there's absolutely loads.
Oh, are there? I can't see. Oh, shall I click the chat thing as well?
Don't worry about it, because I'll ask you everything anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got plenty of time actually to address everything, and I'll just crack on now because there is a lot for us to cover.
Okay.
The first thing that I wanted to focus on actually is you, Jill, because there've been a couple of questions around you and your experience. So if we can just kind of summarise how long you've worked at Speedy, what you do, and I suppose this is for you and the people who you work with, what the best thing about working at Speedy is.
Okay. So I have worked for Speedy 5 years now. I came and joined in 2017. And before I worked at Speedy, I was for 10 years, I was a high school teacher. I taught biology and chemistry. But obviously had a little bit of a change of career in my mid-30s, and yeah, I've never looked back. So yeah, it's you know, it's a great career that I have. So like I said at the beginning, so early careers manager is about making sure that we got a future talent pipeline. You know, if we didn't recruit any young people into our business, because we've got a slightly aged workforce, we would have absolute disaster in about 5 to 10 years. We wouldn't have anybody to fill those roles. So my job is to look across the business, sort of think, okay, where are our areas where, you know, we're going to have issues in the future? So like engineering, for instance, you know, we have got a really sort of aged workforce there. And if we didn't bring in our young apprentices who are fantastic, like I say, in about 5 years, we wouldn't have enough people within those areas. So I look across the business and think, okay, what are our issues? But I also look across the business and think, what are our opportunities? You know, what are the new programs we can bring in? Because for me, like I've said, I don't just want to bring in engineers. Engineers are great, but we need lots of entry points so we can bring as many young people in to the business. So I identify new programs, new apprenticeships, new graduate schemes we can do, and then really push the business, as well as bringing in experienced people who we need. Everyone needs experienced people, but new young people who are willing to learn and get involved and develop a career with us. I think was just asked me the best thing about working at Speedy.
Yeah.
I think for me, so the thing I always say is the people. So I refer to Speedy, and this is not me, trying to sell you something. This is actually genuine. I wouldn't say if it wasn't. I refer to them as my Speedy family. The people are great. We are very close. There's always someone to turn to. That everyone's very supportive of early careers and myself and what I do and the young people we bring in. The people, they're an absolutely great bunch of people within the company. So I love going out. And I'm in Tamworth today. I'm in one of our depots in Tamworth and visiting our apprentices and the people who work with them. I've just had, the best day. The people for me.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jill. Something that you said there about the age of the workforce chimes nicely with a question that we had from Remy. And Remy asked, how many young people are in the company? Is it mostly older or varied?
So on programme at the moment, in terms of apprentices and graduates and trainees, because we have trainees as well who are young but don't do a formal apprenticeship programme. So we've got, I'd say, around 70 altogether. We are this year, during from now until April next year, that's our financial year, we are going to bring in an extra 90 young people, apprenticeship graduates, trainees. So yeah, that's maths probably even I can't do, but 160 then we'll have, which is fantastic. We are members of the 5% Club. So if you don't know what the 5% Club is, that's companies who sign up who aim to have 5% of their workforce in earn and learn positions like apprentices and graduates within 5 years of signing up. We currently sit around 3%, but we're hoping to have 4% by the end of this year and then 5% by the year after. You can see if we've signed up to that, how passionate, how driven we are for that. So
brilliant. Thanks, Jill. Right, then I'll do some quick fire questions. So we had, do you need any prior work experience for any of the work experience programs?
And if you want to come and do a week's work experience with us, you don't need any prior. I think you need an interest in what you want to experience, but you don't need any prior experience in it.
Okay, brilliant. When we were originally talking about work experience and we were on the first slides and we were talking about all of the areas of the business, Joe asked, does the work experience cover all of the areas of the business?
No, I don't think that'd be possible in sort of a week, because we are quite a big, complex business. I think the best approach if you want to ask for work experience with Speedy is go on our website, go and have a look at what we do, who we are, learn a little bit about us, and then marry that with what you're interested in and what you want to do. So if you're quite a practical person, then you might say, because I have some work experience within a depot, within the workshop. If you're you're into computers, it's like, well, could I come and, observe and sit with the IT team for a week and experience what they do? And same with numbers, it might be finance. And then we'll try and do the best we can for you, given where those operations are based within the country and where you are. So sometimes I might get asked for work experience for finance, but this person lives in Glasgow. Obviously, I can't make that happen because our finance is based in the Northwest. But where it does fit, absolutely, we'll help and do that.
Accommodate it. Brilliant, thank you. Joe also says, do you have any roles that revolve around sustainability and being green?
Yeah, we do actually. So we have an ESG director. So she is so the slides where I talked about our innovation centre and our fleet going electric, and we've got we have a green product offering, and we have targets to do with carbon emissions and things like that. Amelia, her name is, she's our ESG director. She's in charge of all of that. And she's new into role. I think she's been in role a year now, and she's just about to bring in, it's gotten so big, because we are so focused on it, that I think she's about to bring in 2 more people, and she's going to bring in a graduate as well into that environment. So absolutely, and I can see that growing even more in the next couple of years. So yeah, we will have those positions.
Brilliant. Thank you. Nick said, are there any psychometric tests?
Not for work experience, no. Even when we bring in graduates, we rarely do anything like that, which is very different to other companies, because for us, for me, it's more about the person and the fit with the company rather than the academics. Obviously, we do have various things for various positions that we do require, but we will always look at the person first before, rather than do psychometrics and your experiences and do you fit with us, because we can teach you, about the job. We can teach you all you need to know about whatever role you want to come into. What we can't teach you is that drive, that passion, that enthusiasm, fitting with our values and our culture. So we rarely do psychometrics. For a couple of roles we do, but very rarely.
Okay, brilliant. And in terms of kind of things that you need for types of roles, what kind of roles do you need a driving license for?
So when we launch our driver apprenticeships, if they go ahead in September, which I'm hoping they will, initially you will, if you want to apply for a driver apprenticeship, then you will already need to hold a license. I suppose in utopia, in a couple of years, what I'd like to be able to offer is actually, you can come in and work for us for a year and while you learn to drive, and then move straight onto a driver apprenticeship. But as we're just setting it up, what we're going to say is those people who want to apply do already need to have a driving license.
Okay, brilliant. Because there was another question actually, which you answered already, which was, would you put somebody through a license? So that answers that perfectly.
Yeah. We would like to do it eventually, yeah.
Great stuff. Adam said, can work experience with Speedy help for an apprentice application too? I couldn't get my words out then. I'm sorry.
No, I think absolutely. I think if you've come and done a week's work experience with us when you're 14, 15, and then you've sort of kept in touch and then applied for a role after you finished your GCSEs at 16, and providing obviously that work experience was, successful and, you enjoyed it and we enjoyed having you and things like that, then absolutely, I think that can only help your application. Obviously, we will have met you and worked with you for a week and thought, actually, this person's really, really great. So, yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. Lee asked a question, and it's difficult to tell what the role in question was, what the question was aimed at, but they asked, do you work long hours / overtime at Speedy?
So we're open, our depots are open 7:30 till 5 because we fit in with like sort of construction. Our apprentices that we bring in, any apprentice only ever works a maximum of 40 hours a week. That is whether you're 16 or 26. If you're an apprentice, you only ever work 40 hours in whatever role you do, engineer, hire controller, depot manager, whatever. There is the option to do overtime in some roles, not in all. So as an engineer, you can do overtime, and you can do that as an apprentice. But if an apprentice does want to do overtime, they have to be fully supervised. Every apprentice who is an apprentice is always fully supervised in their role. So
right. Perfect. Very interesting. Thanks. Interesting question from Nick, who asked, how did COVID affect Speedy?
Yeah, an interesting one. And it's not a difficult one to answer. I know the answer, but sometimes it feels difficult saying the answer. Do you know what? We were one of the industries that probably wasn't hard hit. And I know lots of industries and lots of people who've been really hard hit by COVID. And, friends of mine who work in like retail or, in the hospitality industry, it was just, it's devastating for them. But in terms of Speedy, I think because of what we do, we got involved with a lot of, delivering equipment for, testing sites and work for the NHS and the Nightingale hospitals in the first wave. We did have to, in the first wave, we did have to shut a lot of our depots and we put people on furlough, but we did retain sort of half of our workforce, because, you know, the government pretty much halted everything. In the second and third waves, the government didn't shut down construction and infrastructure projects, and that's who we work with mainly. So we quite quickly brought all of our workforce back and reopened all of our depots and almost carried on as normal. Obviously, we had, you know, we've moved to like a hybrid style of working now. So a lot of people do work from home and then in the office a couple of days. We have changed our practices, probably for the better. You know, it's a lot more flexible and things like that. But, you know, we weren't as hard hit as some other industries as well. So yeah, it's almost like a difficult one to answer that. But I would say there's a lot more focus, and we always cared before the pandemic, but I think it's made us realise even more about our colleagues are our most valuable asset. We look after them. There's a lot more mental health support, a lot more flexibility in our workplace now about where you work, how you work, where we can be flexible. And it just seems, we just had a big shift culturally, and it's, you know, everyone's even closer than they were before. So
that's good to know. Thank you. Right then, some more kind of general questions around about careers at Speedy. So Remy asked, what's the best way to start a career with you?
That's quite, it depends what Remy's interested in.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean, think something that I've taken from this is that how many entry points that you've got is so good, isn't it? So,
yeah, definitely come and do some work experience, or, you know, even come and spend a day with us if you can't. If some schools don't do a week, you know, and I get that every school is slightly different, but even if you want to come spend a day with us during the summer holidays or a couple of days during your summer holidays, you know, come and do that, see if we fit for you, if you fit for us, and, you know, then think about what you want to do. You know, do you want to, like my daughter next year, she's finishes her GCSE next year, she knows that she wants an apprenticeship. She doesn't want to go sixth form. School is not her cup of tea. I think it depends on what you want to do. You know, if you know that you want to work and learn and earn at the same time, then apprenticeship. If you want to go to uni, you know, come and work with us as a graduate. But yeah, come and experience us and make sure, you know, if you think from this it sounds great, fabulous, you might come into one of our depots for a week and go, actually, no, it's not, you know. So yeah, I would say, you know, come and see and then make your decision from there.
Brilliant. Quite a lot of questions around the virtual work experience. Nick says, does virtual work experience count as work experience during applications going forward to other roles?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say yes. I get a lot of applications for apprentice and graduate roles, and I've seen, particularly since the pandemic as well, a lot of virtual work experiences that have been completed. I think a lot of companies, you know, got involved with companies who did that because they couldn't physically host, and they've realised actually they can reach a bigger range. So absolutely, I love seeing people who've done a virtual work experience. I think it shows that you've took the time, you know, you've given up some of your own time to really think about your future, your career, try and get some experience. So in my opinion, I always love seeing that on a CV, and I think, you know what, you've taken the time and you've done something there, which is brilliant.
Brilliant. Joe asked, will the virtual work experience be recorded?
So yeah, I think, I don't know. I'd have to find that out. I'm sure the webinars would be, but I'll have to find that one out. Apologies, Joe, that I can't answer that right now.
Well, the thing is, what I would probably say is check the Spring Pod site as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's good.
Because that's where it's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there was another question around the virtual work experience. Again, the Spring Pod site might need to be checked. It was whether the kind of coaching and the experience on the virtual work experience was one-to-one.
I think when we do the webinars, when you're interacting with Speedy colleagues, I think that'll be, you know, sort of everyone who's signed up, you know, come online with that. I think one-to-one probably not, because given like the possible ages and, you know, and you know, people may not have been, in terms of Speedy CRB checked and things like that, I don't think one-to-one would necessarily be appropriate, but I think it'll be hosted as like, if you've signed up for if you've signed up for, you know, the virtual work experience, we'll be having a webinar with our CEO, you know, at 12 o'clock on Tuesday, you know, and then come, you know, everyone clicks and logs on to come and see that. So yeah, it'll probably be as a group.
Okay, thanks, Jill. 2 more questions about the virtual work experience, and then we've got oh no, we've got a few more, sorry. Then we can move on to apprentices. Peter said, would you tell me if you didn't think I was right for you during the virtual work experience?
I don't think we're sort of approaching the virtual work experience like that. I think this is generally just more for you as young people to get some experience and see, you know, see us as a business. I think it would be difficult through a virtual work experience to be able to tell you that. I mean, although you'll have the webinar, we won't obviously be able to interact one-on-one with every young person who does it, because we're going to have 300 places. So I think it's more the virtual work experience for push towards the young people to get some experience for their CVs, no matter if you want to come and work for Speedy or not. Get some work experience, you know, learn some skills. If you then think actually Speedy's a great place, I'll apply, then that's great for us. But we're also doing it for young people as well, because, you know, what we should be doing that, you know, as a big company. We should be giving back and offering these opportunities, you know, and even if you do our virtual work experience, but then you apply for an apprenticeship with a competitor, that's okay, you know, that's okay. You know, you've experienced the industry and what it's like. And so yeah, it's more for the young people to get that experience.
And that leads me quite nicely to a question about the age for work experience. What age do you have to be to do the work experience with Speedy?
So the virtual one's going to be sort of aimed for year 10, 11, 12, 13. Physical work experience, you can be under 16. We have a very specific risk assessment for under 16. So, but we just tightly control what you're able to do and what you're able to experience. So, because obviously health and safety, and we work in some of our areas are quite, you know, can be dangerous because of just how, you know, just because of the equipment we use and the environment that it is. So yeah, it's all sort of, you know, our health and safety team have worked with me to design sort of the risk assessment and things like that.
Great. And can you remind us how long the work experience programs last?
So physical work experience, we sort of fit in with what schools require for the people who apply. So I've got a range this year. So I've got one person who is only allowed out for a day. So that's absolutely fine. They're doing a day's experience with us. I've got a few people who are doing a week. I've got one person who's doing 2 weeks. So it's sort of led by the schools and what the young person wants and whether we can accommodate it.
Brilliant. So if we just move on to the apprentices, actually, Joe asked, how many apprentices do you take on each year?
It varies. So, well, last year we brought in around 35. This year we're going to bring in 90. Next year we're going to bring in more than 90. It's just going to get, it's really exploded over the past couple of years because the business has seen how good it is. We've been bringing in obviously since 2017 and before graduates and apprentices, but we've just been increasing the numbers slowly over the years. But it's exploded now because, you know, we realise that actually young people are vital for our future, and we need this talent pipeline. You bring with you a set of skills that we may not have in terms of, you know, Gen Z and digital and how you approach things and how you work and operate. So I think from bringing in sort of 35 last year to bringing in 90 this year, you know, we are absolutely deadly serious about young people, and, you know, we want, you know, as many to come and develop their careers as possible.
Brilliant. When you were talking about part of the application process, there were a couple of questions around apprenticeships, which is what's involved within the practical task.
Yeah.
Can any tasks be viewed as examples online?
We don't have any examples online, and please don't be, you know, it's nothing to be worried about, these little practical tests. It's more, not even tests, they're just little tasks. You know, it's more to see your aptitude. And like I said, you don't have to get the right answer, but we want to see how you approach it. You know, what's your ideas, what's your thoughts? Do you give it a go, or do you look at it and go, no, I can't do it, and then run away screaming? And, you know, and it's more to, you know, to just have a look at that, because, you know, we'll teach you everything you need to know, but we want to see, you know, your thoughts and your process before we've even got, you know, involved in teaching you anything, to make sure that, you know, you have got the aptitude for the role. So please don't feel you have to get the right answers. And we don't have any examples because, like I say, they're not like massive and they're not scary. So I think when we've done a, you know, hire controller one, we've mocked up a customer complaint, for instance, and we've given the young person a customer complaint and said, what do you think you should do in this situation? And then looked at their ideas and their process and their thoughts. We, you know, for the depot engineers, we have asked them to have a look at some of our survey equipment, and, you know, somebody's taken them through, you know, this is how you might calibrate it. You go and have a go, you know, and see if they, you know, got the dexterity, or they've been listening and they can sort of apply it. So yeah, it's a whole range, and it depends on the role. We try and make it as lifelike to the role as we possibly can. So
brilliant. You've answered already, but I'm going to ask explicitly. Somebody asked about this. Do you get graded on these tests or tasks?
No, we don't say you've got 9 out of 10 or a grade A star. It's more for us then to sit down and go, well, actually they did this, and this, which is great. This maybe would need some work. And it's just us looking, do you think we could work with this young person? Have they got the right attitude? And, you know, are they, you know, thinking on the right lines? You know, can we, you know, teach them and work with them, and, you know, things like that. So yeah, like I say, it's nothing scary. It's just for us, just to see you in action, to have a go. Because for me, just doing an interview, it's not lifelike for me. And I used to be a teacher, and I used to look at exams and go, but when are you ever going to have to sit there for 2 hours and write an essay in the real world, you know? And I was a teacher. So, and again, it flip it around. If we give you a practical task, if you've applied for a role and you're looking at this task going, if this is what I'm having to do day in, day out, then actually this isn't right for me. So as well as us looking at you, you might get a task and go, no, actually, no, I can't do this day in, day out. So, you know.
And I mean, I'm by no means an expert, but I think part of this is to, again, flip it on its side and see it as a completely positive thing. And if it's something that you are interested in doing and you're passionate about, doing an exercise like this gives you that additional way of showcasing that outside of simply the application and an interview. So I would just say it's more opportunity, really. It sounds to me.
Yeah.
Remy asked a nice question. Are there social events outside of work?
I would say absolutely, yeah. You know, when you get into whatever environment you go into work to, the teams are really tight. There's always little socials, you know, that, you know, Christmas or in the summer, or, you know, I know lots of the apprentices, we try where we can to put apprentices with other apprentices. So, you know, so they'll, you know, go out, maybe if they want to go out at the weekend. And I know when the apprentices go off to college, those who do, you know, they'll always be doing something social when they're at college. So yeah, what we are going to do, hopefully, because our cohort has grown so much, is maybe every sort of 5 to 6 months as a business, bring all our apprentices together to find somewhere big enough. And, you know, do some additional training and some team building and really bonding, and, you know, just increase that more of that cohort and that community feel. So yeah,
good stuff. They've got 4 more questions here. One is dead quick fire. Joe says, when will the summer internship start?
I would like it to start this year. Whether that's realistic or not, I'm not sure. If not, it'll be next year. But it is something that we're incredibly passionate about doing.
Okay, brilliant. So just watch this space.
Yeah.
What kind of transferable skills are important for Speedy?
For us, it's, you know, about you as a person, and do you fit with sort of our culture and how we operate and our values. So I think for me, if I wanted the ideal apprentice or the ideal graduate, I would say that you are enthusiastic, you are eager to learn and progress, and you're willing to get stuck in. You know, you are happy to take instruction, as well as confident enough eventually to, to tell us, actually, I think we could do it like this. We want you guys to challenge us as much as we challenge you. And then to bring, any skills that you've learned from school or in part-time jobs and put them into play. But yeah, just to really give it your all and be driven and hungry and wanting this opportunity to sort of learn and develop and have a career with us. So we really look at the person and whether you're, a great fit for us, because we want you to be happy here. You have to be happy when you're at a job. There's nothing worse than being miserable. When you're doing something day in, day out, you have to be happy and driven and wanting to succeed. So
great. Well, that brings me on very nicely to a question that Maisie posted, which was, what does it take to be successful?
I think just showing willing, great attitude, happy to graft when, everyone needs to graft and work hard, happy to work as a team. And, if there's a problem, if you're doing something, but then there's suddenly a problem, you're happy just to go and help out, willing to get involved, contribute your ideas. We want your ideas. Literally, you are not coming in for us just to boss you around and go, well, you need to do this, this, and this. We want your ideas. We want your challenge. And just, really willing to commit to us for however long your apprenticeship is and beyond, so that you can, have that attempt to develop a great career with us. So yeah, if you are enthusiastic and, excited and passionate to go on that journey, then we'll take you along with us. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, I will say to everybody who's still here, this is amazing. We've got one question left, which is a poignant one about applications. We've covered absolutely everything. If anyone has got anything else that they want to just ask Jill, just pop it in the chat shortly. But finally, on a last note, Nick said, how competitive is it applying to Speedy?
Yeah, we get a lot of applications. I'm trying to think how many. I think I totted up how many we got last year. I think we got about over 900 applications for the roles that we put out. So, we do get quite a lot of applications. It's probably not as competitive as in some other companies where they're getting thousands upon thousands upon thousands. But I'll give you a guarantee. I read every CV. And look at every CV and every application, because it's really important to me to give each one the time. And I'm sorry that sometimes we can't take more on, but so like doing like a work experience or doing the virtual work experience with us, does make your application stand out. Or doing any sort of work experience as well. It just sort of shows that you've taken some time to do something and have a go and try and learn some skills. So yeah, that's really important.
It's a commitment, isn't it? And it's an actual activity where you can show that you have got like a true intention and interest, which I think is priceless.
Yeah, definitely.
Right then, Jill, you've been amazing.
Thank you for having me.
All right, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you, everybody who's attended, who's here, who's been asking questions. I'm telling you, there's been so many. I'm glad that we've been able to work through everything. So it's my time to kind of wrap up the session now. From Career Map, I would like to thank Speedy for doing the session. Jill, yourself, obviously, it's a brilliant presentation, asking and answering all the questions brilliantly, and everybody who's logged in and engaged and been here watching. Like I said, it will all be emailed to you in the next week or so don't worry about missing out on anything. And to people who are saying thanks in the chat, Jolie, Ahmed, thank you. See you later.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Bye.